Welcome to another episode of Backed or Busted. I'm your host, Rob McCallum, aka Rob McZob. If you need help with your crowdfunding campaign, email us at crowdfundingspectacular99@gmail.com. Happy to highlight it here on the program and see if it's truly amazing or if it's in fact busted. Alright, today we're going to highlight a project on Kickstarter called Xeno Crisis. Let's jump over there right now and take a look. So here we are on Kickstarter, and like I said, we're taking a look at Xeno Crisis. It's a new game for the Sega Genesis or Mega Drive. Of course, that was one of my favorite consoles growing up, so if you're a video game fan, you might just love today's episode. As you can see, they're doing extraordinarily well. They're looking for £20,000, and they're at over £55,000. That translates into American dollars of almost $75,000. They have 3 days to go as of this recording. Hopefully there'll be a day or so left by the time this gets out there. And it is also a Kickstarter project that they love. So that's all good. There's a lot of things to like about this so far. Let's dive in and look at their pitch video to see if the goods continue there.
Bitmap Bureau presents Xeno Crisis.
Alright, so there we have the pitch video for Xeno Crisis, and again, this is a top-down arcade-style shooter for Sega Genesis / Mega Drive, taking inspiration from classics like Smash TV and Contra. That is certainly the case here, as you can tell. I'm just going to step through the trailer as we always do, or the pitch video rather, as I want to break down some things. First, it definitely, I'm guessing that's going to be the title screen since it says press start. We get the awesome Genesis-like music coming in. This definitely feels like Smash TV to me. I like the cutscene graphics as well. It feels and looks very much like a Contra Smash TV crossover, as they say right up here. You're obviously battling some different xenomorphs, like from the franchise Aliens, hence Xeno Crisis. It says everything it's supposed to say, and the length is great at 124. I guess it would have been nice to hear from the creators to talk about exactly why they want the money, have that bundled within the pitch video rather than just showcasing it. But very small knocks to this. It does get a little repetitive, but you know, people that want to invest whatever they're going to be asking for, it's better to show more gameplay than less gameplay. Gamers can be very critical and dive deep into what you're trying to offer them. They're not pushover, so you really got to showcase as much as you can. They're doing a good job here. I like the continue screen here, and when you continue, cuts to another little fun angle. And this is obviously in a 4:3 ratio, just like the Genesis. So some good stuff there, guys. Well done. We'll pause that there, and we'll just scroll down. We're just going to take a look at the body of the campaign. So we got a nice Xeno Crisis Genesis image, and you can see that it's an actual cart that's going in there. So Xeno Crisis is a new original title for the Sega Mega Drive / Genesis and Dreamcast. Okay, so that wasn't in the title, so that's really interesting. Which will both be released as a physical cartridge and also as a downloadable ROM. At its core, it's an arena shooter, 2 players, and you can see all the different games that it takes inspiration from. We mentioned Contra and Smash TV. We want the game to feel, look, and sound like a classic Mega Drive game of the 80s and 90s, but also wanted to add some new elements that weren't so common for games of that area, like procedural map generation and randomization. That's kind of cool. Achieving the classic look and feel is very important to us, which is why we've teamed up with legendary pixel artist Hank, which is awesome, who's worked on Mega Drive titles, Misadventures of Flink, by Saigonis. Not sure how to pronounce that. I apologize. I'm not good. I'm not up on all these folks. We're also working with Savage Regime, a highly renowned chiptune artist, so that explains why the music is really good. He's highly renowned, and it sounds like it. The game is currently at the prototype stage, so this is so important. Thank you so much for saying this. I would have even had a heading for this as a whole separate area, because it's important to let people know where you are. All this stuff is really good, and I'm glad that it's here. I would have probably got rid of this and just stuck with the logo, just this big here, and then saying it's a new game physical cartridge. I'm so glad you bolded that, and a downloadable ROM that jumps right out. It's so easy to read. But really telling us that this is at the prototype stage and be releasing the finished product in October 2018 to coincide with the 30th anniversary of Mega Drive. That's awesome. It sounds like you're really aiming for a date. I want to believe it. It's cool, man. That's very cool that you're lining that up. So let's continue on. So it talks about gameplay. We saw a ton of that. The intense combat, thousands of alien enemies, male or female marine. That's great. Capable of moving 8 directions, several weapons. That's great. Very few enemies killed to result in a set of dog tags being dropped. These can be collected in exchange for upgrades between areas, so that's cool. Should the player run out of health, they'll take into the continue screen where they continue. 3 continues per game. Player runs out of health in 2-player mode. That player will remain to the room in which they revived automatically. Okay, so this is basically describing the gameplay. This section is done pretty well. I think that some of this stuff could have been shrunk, so instead of a square like this, maybe just across here as a single line, just to tighten it up a little bit. And I would have liked to have seen the upgrade window. I don't think that this is crucial to talk about how upgrades worked or that they're part of the drop, so I'd probably just get rid of it altogether. Same with the continue section. We see it in action in your pitch video. I don't think we need to see it anymore. Feature. Yeah, see how you have this here? That's what you could have done with this directional walking here. So same with the same kind of art. Features. The arena shooter is something of a resurgence in recent years in the form of Geometry War, Enter the Gungeon, and etc., etc. It was defined through the early 80s. And these games, successor, were expanding upon this popular success by adding new elements, which are better suited to console titles. The ability to backtrack, keycard system, and equipment screen, procedural map generation, randomization of enemies. Okay, so these are things that have been mentioned a little bit. But instead of seeing all this stuff, we don't need to see these titles and talking about the genre. Just talk about the features. That's what you've headed. Let's just jump right here. Intense arena combat. Again, procedurally generated maps and rooms. Optional 2-player cooperative. 5 diverse areas to explore. I probably would have swapped the order of some of these, since some of them are newer compared to others. It just makes it a bit easier. Here's some screens that they have. Stage 1, Stage 3, Stage 4. Upgrade system. So, these are more features. Put all the features together, because I'm not going to be able to realize that these are together. So it just makes a stronger argument for you guys. 2 levels of difficulty, 2 modes of play, 5 intimidating bosses, 9 different weapons, upgrade system. Great, keep them all together. Don't separate them by screens. You got a lot of images as it is. You can flood the bottom of the page with images if you need to. You can have a link. You can have... There's a bunch of... You could have created a GIF that was a slideshow that could have just gone through them all. Lots of different ways. Okay, so... Enemies. Again, this is more gameplay stuff. Great. Weapons, more gameplay stuff. Great. Upgrades. Awesome. See, this is stuff that could have been included earlier. Development. This should be up way up earlier, around under that section of where we are now. So this talks about the company. This talks about that they've won awards for their mobile stuff. Again, this is all great, and they've worked with publishers, Namco, Adult Swim, Disney, Eidos. Over 100 successful projects completed. This is great. We've always been fans of the Genesis. So this is awesome. This is the human element. It tells me who you are. So you didn't appear in the pitch video. So include some of that kind of stuff up here under this first area that you've done so well. Put that up here, because I want to get to know the people that I want to invest in. I'm investing in you more than I am the game. I want the game for sure, but I want to invest in you guys. So give me a reason. Okay, so here's the team. We're getting nice bios. We've already read some of it. We've already got a few of the key points out there. Production. We have many commonly used regular territory, including Mega Genesis 1 through 3, as well as Nomad Portable, Mega Drive, and the Retron 5. These will be used to test the game, and so on. Okay, so that's great. We also have some of the best CRT displays you can find, including the NEC, XP 29 Plus. Ah, of course, the NEC XP 29 Plus. That's one of the best. I don't know anything about this. I actually do know this Sony one, which is hilarious. I'm kind of making fun of myself. Anyways, they're testing Xeno Crisis on that to make sure the colors and everything looks great. That's awesome. As well as the controllers. Here's the breakdown of the Japanese cartridge. That's awesome. Then we go into the rewards here. It does look like they have, here's what the ROM looks like. Here's the case. Cool Genesis style case. T-shirt, all these other things. So we'll come back to these if we need to. Stretch goal. Added 2-player co-op mode. So it's achieved. It would have been nice to see something here that says achieved instead of having to look down here in the super small font. Added Sega Dreamcast port. So they added that. Added new area Boston translation. So 55,000 blast processing. Okay, let's see if we're close to that. I think we're over that now. Yeah, we're just over 55,000, so they probably haven't updated that graphic yet. Let's get to it. That's exciting. Our fourth stretch goal is blast processing. With the stretch goal, we'll push the Mega Drive to its limit with a whole range of features addition to the game, including bonus stage, boss rush mode, extra enemies, and speedrun seeds. We'll also look to add, where possible, after technically assessing the gameplay testing, a range of other backer-requested extras like gore mode and knife attack. And then it just says, follow us, special thanks, and risks in challenges. Creating a Mega Drive game is no mean feat, and we're fully aware that it'll be a challenge, particularly on the technical side. However, we are extremely confident we can complete the project on time and on budget. The game is already in playable state on the Mega Drive hardware, and with most of the more complex tasks, such as collision detection, procedural map generation, memory management, already taken care of. That's really nice to hear. We also have an excellent track record in completing game development projects across multiple platforms dating over 15 years. The biggest risk we see is manufacturing scheduling for the cartridges, but we will be ensuring development is complete with enough buffer for any last-minute technical challenges and or manufacturing delays. Okay, so they're basically like most Kickstarter projects, and I have been a victim of this and still am on one project where you are relying on a third-party vendor to complete your campaign, and there's nothing you can do, so that's their biggest fear. Let's jump right over to the rewards. Here we are. $1. Look at that. Anybody can back for $1. You'll get an original soundtrack download just for $1. Awesome. Love it. $15. You get the downloadable ROM file. You can get it for Genesis, and you get the soundtrack as well. So that's pretty cool. They have 80 backers for that. $15. You can get the Dreamcast one as well. So I would have probably right away combined these two. Here we go. $25 digital download pack. Oh, so they're combining it all right here. So they're basically separating them here and then putting one here. I think that's a misstep, guys. I think for $15 you should just give people the choice of what they want to pick from. They're getting the download anyway, so why give them both? Most people probably won't play them on both. They're going to be dedicated to one system or another, so just make that easy. $30. Xeno Crisis on Dreamcast. Good deal. Shipping anywhere in the world. You get the soundtrack as well. Get it in the jewel case, multi-regional. Awesome. $40. Xeno Crisis cartridge only. It'll play anywhere in the world. You can Mega Drive cartridge. $45. Kickstarter edition. So you receive Kickstarter version of Xeno Crisis on Dreamcast, high quality press case, etc., etc., etc. You get stickers, postcards, enamel pin, digital download. Hostage named after you in the game. Pretty cool. $55. This is where most of their backers seem to be at. 349 here. Receive a multi-regioned cartridge of Xeno Crisis, plus complete with instruction manuals, versions 1, 2, or 3. So you get box with manual and the soundtrack. $75 US. A lot of people have backed it. Good for them. Xeno Crisis Kickstarter edition. So this is basically the Genesis box version. Hostage named after you. Stickers, pins, postcards, all that good stuff. $700. So we go from $75 to $750. Design a Xeno Crisis boss. This is over $1,000. Nobody has backed this. You get the Kickstarter edition of the game, but you're $1,000 in the hole for doing it. Become a part of 16-bit history by working with our team to design your very own boss. No artistic skills are needed. But you will need a huge passion for gaming, some good ideas. Our team of programmers, artists, and sound designers will work with you to plan out your boss. If you want to add that extra wow factor, look at some of the more advanced, clever Genesis programming tricks and techniques. That's cool. And then for $1,000, which is about 1,300 US, you get a custom Xeno Crisis Sega Mega Drive. Receive a customized Xeno Crisis themed Mega Drive complete with all cables and accessories. So you get the actual console plus the box edition and the soundtrack. And somebody actually has taken this, so cool for them. And then it seems we're out of one reward here that was limited to 100. Exclusive to Kickstarter, receive a collector's edition box set of Xeno Crisis, including custom box cartridge manual artwork with unique transparent green cartridge case. Your name in the credits plus a limited Xeno Crisis t-shirt. So collector set, t-shirt, dog tags, original download for 109 bucks, 80 pounds. So very cool stuff there indeed. Let's look at the updates to see what we can find. So this was launched on December 11th. There's frequent updates. So then the very next day we talk about 2-player co-op and Dreamcast port. After one day they're 92% funded. You can see that. And then 2 days later, they're funded. They're at 141%. So it probably happened not long after they posted this. They were funded just in 40 hours, so that confirms that. And they've added a first stretch goals achieved and a new stretch goals announced. That's nice. And then almost a little under a week later, they're 183% funded, which is great. And then over 200% funded 4 days later. And Merry Christmas, third stretch goal achieved, new stretch goal add-ons. Again, about a week later, 5 days to go, 2-player footage sneak peek. So that's cool. Let's take a look at the the comments are going to be ding, 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 stretch goal. That was 3 hours ago. As we mentioned, they probably just haven't upgraded that just yet. Lots of back and forth here. Wow, look at this. They're talking to everyone, which is fantastic. A lot of super backers are part of this. Let's look at the community. They're from the UK, so they have top cities. London, the UK, 24. That's great. Of their looks like 879 backers, 323 are from the US. So this is just slightly a little bit more international than domestic from where we are. Kickstarter's based in the US, and for the longest time, most projects that were successful were funded there. So it's always nice to see the split between the two. Returning backers, 747, and yet there's still 132 new backers, people that have never backed a Kickstarter project before. They saw this project, they went through the hassle of setting up an account, the trust of putting their credit card online to be a part of it. And I'm just going to jump over to KickTrack for a minute. So here we are here. So let's just take a look at the funding curve. First, they're trending towards £63,000. They're currently at 55. They have a couple days to go. This looks like pretty natural. It doesn't look like there's anything suspicious here. This is a good deal. Here's that 40-hour mark where they crossed their goal. Good for them. Let's look at the daily data. This is the average money per day. So they had a good chunk here and a good spike here and another one here. But of course, on the first day, they got over 11,000. And then 8,000, 6,000. So that's a great first 3 days. Good for them. And let's look at the backer. So the first 3 days were so strong in terms of number of backers. I mean, pledge dollars, of course, too, but the number of backers was really good. It wasn't really until maybe here, about a week into their progress, that they really started getting cut in half. I mean, this is a steep drop as well, but this is normal, right? You're going to get your kind of valley shape here, as always, as you get through the middle of your campaign and get towards the end. But this is actually pretty strong, so kudos to them. Even on their weakest day, they only had 5 backers, which represent almost $300. That's a good deal. That's a good sign for sure. And comments, of course, are relative or reflective of engagement, but not necessarily that much more. Here's the projection. Projecting anywhere between 65 and 58. Again, they're projecting 63, which lands right in the middle. Here's the trend. Nice, stable curve. And the mini chart if you want to see how that's looking in the goal and over days. Really nice to share. So we'll go back. Has there been a lot of press? Nope, no press at all. So that surprises me, but I don't know that they need it. They have tags here, which is really nice. And let's see if they have... This takes us to their Kickstarter profile. You can see who's involved here. So we'll go back over to the campaign. Here we are here, guys. So again, let's go over what works and what doesn't work as a bit of a summation. There's a few rewards that, especially early on for people that don't have a ton of money, I would completely rework. These downloadable ROMs, just the separating the Dreamcast and Genesis ones for the $25. I don't think that's a solid idea. I think... Look at this alone. The Genesis one over here has 80 backers at 15. So, I mean, even if you were just to put them all together here, or make it 20 if you think that's 15 is not enough. I think that's an easy one to do. Not much else that I can really say. So there is a lot of rewards. Let's just double check how many they have. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 rewards, definitely on the high end. Really like to see 7 to 10 max. I think one of the reasons that it got complicated is because they added a Dreamcast port, which wasn't planned. They don't mention Dreamcast stuff up here at all. It's mentioned later on down here, so they probably, it was an add-on, I think. I think that's what we read down here on their stretch goals. If I can find it. It would be really nice if there was actually chapter links that could be put in here, so you can just jump to each section. So, yeah, it's not technically a stretch goal, but oh yeah, so added Sega Dreamcast port. So it was added after the fact. So I think that complicated this project unnecessarily. I think you could have either run a separate campaign for that, and instead of looking for the 20,000 that you're looking for, you could have just asked for 5,000 to create that, and just kept it at a separate from the Genesis thing, because I think it inflated this unnecessarily. I get why they're related with Genesis and Dreamcast both being Sega consoles. That's the only really knock I have on the support side over here on the rewards. The campaign, again, just lots and lots of stuff here. Some of it's unnecessary. I would probably say a lot of people are missing it. Some of it I would reorganize and rework the order of it. I'd compress some of the imagery together. Mentioned the walk cycle stuff being more organized like this. But overall, all the right ingredients, just about the execution. So that leaves us with the big question, is this something that we are considered to back? Are we going to be a backer on this, or is it considered busted? And officially, I've got to say that I will become a backer on this. So let's consider it backed. All right, there we have it. I am a backer of Xeno Crisis. I'm glad I discovered this project on Kickstarter, in that we had a chance to break it down. Hopefully you guys will get a chance to check it out as well and become a backer and support these guys. Big fan of it. Again, well done with the campaign, guys. Hopefully the few tricks that I pointed out there can help you kind of curb some of that in the pending hours that will be left by the time this goes live. But either way, wish you guys success on this campaign and in other ones. And if you need help with your crowdfunding project, reach out to us at crowdfundingspectacular99@gmail.com. Happy to help you, or happy to highlight your project on this program if you feel it's truly amazing. Until next time, guys, I'm Rob McZob, aka Rob McCallum. We'll see you later.